Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome and peace be upon us all. My name is Bakisir Darindi and I will be your host today. Today, we gather here to share stories to inspire and to be inspired. We believe that stories have the power to touch our hearts, to burden our minds, and to bring us closer to them. In this today's storytelling event, from first is Askia Nadira Ardi, will share with us a story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarf. Okay, please welcome Askia Nadira Ardi.
Oh, awal. Licin kali Mem, nanti turun-turun. Where's my Queen? Where's Snow White? Oh, Mem, di depannya atau di belakang? Mana cara? Bisa, bisa. Assalamualaikum. Mana ya? Assalamualaikum. Ustaz, nggak dengar Ustaz? Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum Assalamualaikum Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Askia Nadira Ardi. I'm from 5th grade of D.
I'm standing here in front of you all. I want to tell you the story about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful princess who had skin as white as snow. Her lips were red as blood, and her hair as black as ebony. And the queen named her Snow White. When she was 2 years old, the queen died, and the king took to himself another wife. She was a beautiful woman, but she couldn't bear that anyone else surpassed her in beauty. She had a wonderful looking glass, and every day she always asked her looking glass, looking glass, who is the most beautiful in this land, looking glass? And the looking glass answered, it's you, Lady Majesty. You are the most beautiful in this land. Then she satisfied, for she knew the looking glass spoke the truth. But Snow White was growing up and grew more and more beautiful. One day, the queen asked her looking glass, and the looking glass answered, it's you, Lady Majesty. Snow White, who is 1,000 times more beautiful now. The queen turned green with jealousy. She hated the girl so much. Whenever she looked at Snow White, her heart heaved in her breast. She called the huntsman and said, take the child away into the forest, kill her, and bring me back her heart as evidence. The huntsman took Snow White into the forest. When he wanted to stab her, she begged him, dear huntsman, leave me my life. I will run into the white forest and never come home again. The huntsman had pity on her, and finally he let her go. So he just killed a deer and gave the animal's heart into the queen. Snow White knew that she couldn't go home again. She fled far into the forest until she came into a little cottage. Everything in the cottage was small. There, she was so hungry. She took some fruit from the plate. And then she was so tired. She saw 7 beds lined up in a row. She pushed the bed together and fell asleep. When it was quite dark, the 7 dwarfs, the owner of the cottage, came home from work that night. Who has been sitting on my chair? Said the first dwarf. Who has been eating on my plate? Said the second dwarf. And they saw Snow White lying there. Oh heavens, what a sweet girl! How beautiful she is! Whispered all 10 of them. Shh, guys, don't wake her up, and let her sleep on in the bed. When it was morning, Snow White awoke. I am Snow White. And she told them about her stepmother. And the dwarf said, if you will take care of our house, cook, wash, and if you will keep everything neat and clean, you can stay with us. And she stayed with them. But the girl was alone the whole day, so the dwarf asked her to be careful. Beware of your stepmother, princess. She will soon know that you are here. Be sure to let no one come in. Meanwhile, in the palace, the queen went to her looking glass. Looking glass, who is the most beautiful in this land, looking glass? And the looking glass answered, it's you, Lady Majesty, as always. But Snow White, who is 1,000 times more beautiful. They're over the mountains with the dwarf. Snow White still alive and well. The queen was orange. She defied the road. Thereupon, she went into a quiet, secret, lonely room where no one ever came. And there, she made a poisonous apple. When the apple was ready, she painted herself and dressed as a peddler woman. She knocked on the window of the dwarf house. Knock, knock, knock. Snow White carefully opened the window. some delicious apples here. Would you like to taste one? Snow White replied, actually, I'm not allowed to talk to strangers, but I think tasting an apple won't hurt. Thank you, ma'am. After she taking a bite of the apple, she dropped dead. And the queen looked at her and laughed very loud. Poor girl, it's time for me to be the most perfect of all. When the seven dwarfs came home in the evening, they realized the poor girl was dead. And they put her into the glass coffin. And now Snow White lay along in the glass coffin. But she still had her pretty cheeks and beautiful as usual. One day, a prince appeared into the forest. And he saw the glass coffin on the mountain. He asked the dwarf if he could take her with him. Let me have it as a gift, for I cannot live without seeing Snow White. I will prize her and honor as my dearest possession. And the dwarfs allowed it. When moving the glass coffin, a piece of apple shot out from the Snow White's throat. She opened her eyes, she cried, "Oh heavens, where am I?" And the prince said, "Are with me, princess." And she told her what happened and said, "I love you more than everything in the world. Come with me to my father's place. You shall be my wife." What happened next to the queen is still a mystery. Some say she turned to be a shadow. It's not entirely clear. Snow White and the prince married and lived happily ever after. The moral from the story is, vanity will not take you far, but kindness will. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, the audience, and judges and ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shana Sutian. I am 5th grade excellent science. I'm standing here. I want to tell you about the story Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Do you Do you ever do know story? And you? And you? Okay, listen to me. A long time ago, there lived a beautiful princess who had smooth and white skin. Her name is Snow White, and her mother died when she was a child, and now her father married again. And the new queen was very pretty, but she jealous to Snow White, and the new king want to be most beautiful one in his kingdom. And she often asks her magic mirror, "Focus, focus, tralala! Mirror, mirror, who is the most beautiful one in his kingdom?" And the magic mirror would say, "You are, you are majesty, my queen." And one day, the magic mirror changed the answer. "Mirror, mirror, who is the most beautiful one in his kingdom?" The magic mirror would say, "Your daughter, she is Snow White, is the most beautiful one in this kingdom." So the queen invite for Snow White beauty, and the queen invite to the huntsman to take Snow White in the forest and kill her. Huntsman, come here. I want you bring me a Snow White heart. When the huntsman reached in the forest, however, he took pity on Snow White. And then the huntsman set Snow White free. And the huntsman pretended to the queen that killed Snow White by bringing a Snow White heart and told the huntsman to the queen. The next morning, she found a teeny cottage and went inside. Nyet. There was nobody people, but she only saw 7 plates on the table and 17 beds in the bedroom. And then the queen went to the kitchen and cooked a delightful meal. So delicious. And then the 7 dwarfs cleaned the entire house. La la la. And she felt tired, and she also slept one of the beds in the bedroom. In the afternoon, the 7 dwarfs came home who lived in the cottage. The 7 dwarfs so surprised to find a girl who was sleeping one of the beds. "Hey, who's that?" "I don't know." And then Snow White woke up from sleep. And told them Snow White all story. The 7 dwarfs got a sympathy for Snow White. And then 7 dwarfs asked her Snow White told to stay with them. The 7 dwarfs loved and cared for Snow White very much. So they told to Snow White to not open the door for strangers when their way away. Meanwhile, in the palace, the queen asked her magic mirror, and she knew that Snow White was still alive and lived with 7 dwarfs in the forest. She was so furious and decided to magic a potion, and that would put Snow White into deep sleep forever. And she bring a shiny apple into the poisonous. One morning, the weak queen changed herself as an old woman. She came to the cottage and called her into the window. "Oh, my dear, sorry. Oh, Snow White, let me in. I have something special for you." And then Snow White said, "I'm sorry, old woman, I cannot let you in because 7 dwarfs told stay away from strangers." "I have a juicy and sweet apple, my dear. Do you want it?" And then Snow White took it and ate a little apple. She fell on the floor. "Oh no! Oh no!" And the queen asked her magic mirror, and now the queen was to be most beautiful one in this kingdom. She was so happy. Ha 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 ha. And then the seven dwarfs came home. They found Snow White lying on the floor. Hey, Snow White! And they were sad and cried all night. Snow White, woke up, Snow White, woke up. And then the seven dwarfs put the Snow White into the front of their cottage. One day, a charming prince passed in the cottage and saw it. Hey, who is that? She's so beautiful. And then the prince kissed a princess. Mwah. And then the true first kiss, heartbroken spell. And then Snow White woke up from the deep sleep. Finally, prince and princess married and her took this palace. And then there live happily ever after. The end. And the moral lesson of the story is don't be jealously and try to improve yourself as a better person. I am Amrun Azam Alam Sharan Setion. Thank you for audience. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for your great performance. So let us sit back, relax, and get ready to be transported to a world of wonder, of excitement, and of inspiration. The third performance is from Muhammad Rafi Baruna Pasaribu will share us a story of the Frog Prince. Please welcome Rafi Baruna.
Halo, tes. Eh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable judges and all of my beloved audience, ladies and gentlemen. Before, I want to ask you, have you ever heard a story about the Frog Prince? Have you? Have you? Have you? If you don't, I want to tell you right now. Check this out. Once upon a time, when wishes often came true, there lived a king who has a daughter who is so beautiful. She had a long shiny hair and yellow pretty eyes. Who must see her must be charming with her beautiful because she is so gorgeous. I swear. She liked to play her golden ball by the pond near the forest. But one day, accidentally, the princess let the ball fall into the pond. She tried to find her golden ball, but the water was too deep, and the princess began to cry very loudly. And in the midst of her weeping, she heard a voice saying to her, "What is the matter, princess? Why are you crying?" And when she looked to where the voice came from, there is a nothing and ugly frog sitting on a rock by a pond. "Is you, frog? I'm crying because my golden ball is falling into the pond." "Do not cry. I can help you. But what will you give me for finding your golden ball again?" "I will give you whatever you want, dear frog. I will give you any of my clothes, my pearls, or my jewels, or even my golden crown that I wear. That's all are not for me. But if you will love me and have me for your companion, let me sit by you at the table, drink from your cup, eat from your plate, and of course you must kiss me. If you will promise all this, then will I dive below the water and get your golden ball again. Oh, no, take me with you. I cannot run as fast as you. But in the next day, the frog hopped into the castle door and knocked it. Tuk, 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 tuk. Oh, princess! Princess! Open the door for me! The princess heard him, but she thought to herself to make him go away. Oh, that is the ugly frog. Hey you! Make him go away! Yes, princess. And the servant went to the door and opened the door, talked to the frog to leave immediately, and she slammed the door at the poor frog's face. But the frog still did not go away, and he knocked again. Tuk, 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 tuk. Oh princess, please let me in. If you don't, I will cry here and until you do. And the king noticed that his daughter was bothered by something. And the princess talked to the king how the ugly frog had helped her. And the king said to the princess to must keep the promise. And let the frog came into the castle door. And the princess let him in, and they all sat down to eat. The frog enjoyed all of the food, but the princess had no appetite because she did not like being near the ugly frog. Yeah. And when after dinner, the princess went to her room, but the frog insisted on following her. And when she closed the door, he met his last demon. Princess, it's time for you to kiss me. If you don't, I will tell your father. Oh no! What the hell are you? And the princess grabbed him and threw him against the wall. The frog groaned, and that is very still. And the princess picked up the ugly frog very tenderly, but the princess still did not move. And the princess felt very sorry for him. Oh, ugly frog, come on. Hey you, are you dead? And when she cried, she kissed the ugly frog. And with a bright face of a fly, the ugly frog turned into a handsome prince. Ding, 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 ding. Wow! You broke the spell, princess. Why you turned to the prince? Oh, I will tell you. A long time ago, the wicked witch turned me into an ugly frog because I did not like her. Only the kiss of beautiful princess like you could save me. Thank you, princess. And will you marry me, princess? And the prince and the princess were married, and they lived happily ever after. And the moral lesson can we learn from the story is, don't judge the people by their appearance. And that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for your performance. The fourth performance is from Shira Sahira Elderi, will share with us a story.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Sira Syahira Alderi. I'm from 5th of Excellent Science. I want to tell you a story about the King Frog. Have you ever heard this story? Oh, never. I will give you this story. Let's check it out. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who lived in a beautiful palace. There was a lake surrounding and a beautiful garden. The princess had a golden ball and she loved to play with it. One day, while playing in the garden, na 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 na. Oh my God! The ball fell into the lake. Feeling very upset and helpless, the young lady started weeping loudly for dropping her ball. I dropped my ball! Upon hearing her wail, a frog hopped out of the lake. Quack, quack, and asked, "Why are you crying, little princess?" She told him about the golden ball which fell into the lake, and she didn't know how to get it back. "Don't worry, princess, I can help you, but what will you give me in return?" The princess promised to give anything that he deserved. The frog dived into the lake. "Where is the ball?" "Aha! This is your ball, princess." Saying this, the princess was very happy. "Thank you very much, frog. Thank you." "Okay, princess, you're welcome. But don't forget your promise." "What do you want me to do for you, frog?" "Well, I want to be your friend, eat from your golden plate, and sleep on your pillow." However, the princess didn't like his idea, but she agreed and back to her palace. On the way, she mumbled, "How is this? I don't want him to live with me. He is a disgusting animal. How I can be friends with him?" When she arrived at the palace, she told to her father about everything that happened. The father said, "Remember, princess, the frog has given you a golden ball. If he don't help you, you will definitely lose your ball, princess." Hearing this, the princess just sighed and back to her room. The next morning, the frog came to the door. "Quack, quack, princess, I have come to live with you, princess." Hearing this, the princess started crying and ran to her father. "Daddy! The frog is coming, Dad!" The princess was annoyed, but she had no other choice to let the nasty frog stay with her. That evening, he sat next to the princess and had dinner from a golden plate. "Yum! It's so delicious, princess! It's so delicious!" After followed her to her bedroom and jumped into the